Hey guys, sorry, I had to reboot. I'm sorry, I don't know what went on with that. That was just nuts. And there was nothing I could do about it, but there we have it. There you have it. I hope you'll jump over here now. You know what I can do? You know what I can do? I can let you all know on the Facebook group. I'm going to blame those kids next door because I'm turning into that grumpy old man. Hopefully you'll, okay, there you are. Okay, now you're here. Hold on one second. Let me just, I'm going to stream 2 times. Stream me 2 times. I'm gone away. 1 second. Hey all, hi, I don't know what happened to YouTube, but I just opened up another chat from downstairs. Not what I wanted to do, but it's what I'm doing. And unfortunately, all the material that I have is upstairs that I wanted to share with you. So, all right, jump over. There's a new stream going. Sorry, beyond my control. Sorry about that. So, hi, everybody. I hope you all get the message. Hey all, hi, I don't know what happened to YouTube, but I just opened up just annoying as hell right now. Yeah, I don't know what all that was. Hey, look, guys, give me 1 minute. I left all my material upstairs. I will be right back. Hang out 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. Hold on, hold on, hold on. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Well, I guess that's why they call it hump day. Now, if I can turn that a little bit that way, there, that's fine. We'll push this back this way. There we go. Okay. Hey, guys, really sorry about that. I don't know, but this should work much better. I have no idea why these things happen the way they do. But you know what? I guess I'm just going to have to practice releasing expectations, which is the title of this thing, part 2. So sorry about that. What can I tell you? I tried rebooting it over and over and over as it was happening on the phone. And yeah, it's frustrating, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Hold on, people are now messaging me. Hi, I got it fixed. Go back to YouTube. That's where I am, period. What was I going to say about disappointment? That's very disappointing. That's very, very disappointing, YouTube. But it's probably not YouTube's fault. It's probably just everybody's on the internet. We haven't had these problems for a while, so, you know, it is what it is. But here I am. Here I am. That's what happens when you deal with the Kali finger puppet. Ah! Ooh, ooh, ooh. Marianne Forrester. Marianne Forrester, True Blood. Season 2. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I'm here too. That was disappointing. I really wanted to do it I was nice and quiet and meditative and all of that. And meanwhile, the kids are screaming their heads off. I don't know if you can hear it, but I heard it before. So great, big, huge. Yeah, nothing I can do about it. Annoying. Anyway, so welcome. 1111, make a wish. I really wish that would never happen again. But what are the chances, right? Anyway. So, you know, the moon is in Cancer. Oh, but now I can tell you, at Eastern Standard Time, at least, the moon goes void, of course, at 3:29 p.m. Goes into Leo tonight at 9:06 p.m. So for our 11 p.m. stream tonight, will at least be in Leo. So hopefully a little bit out of all of this drenching water energy going on. You know, not that we don't have to deal with that. A practice in changing, letting go of expectations, which, releasing expectations. So let's say a prayer, because I've got a lot to say. Hello, my name is Angelo, Lyons, VIMEO for short, and I got something to say. Great, now Jasmine Masters will say I'm coming for her gig, which I'm not. Everyone get comfortable. Everyone take a couple of nice deep breaths. I'm not explaining again what just happened. You're going to be disappointed then if you're expecting another explanation, because it's not going to happen. I already did it twice. Please breathe. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is already. The idea of frustration, disappointment, expectation is high in my energy field. Just because of something as simple as an internet glitch, the very subject that I was set forth to talk about before, that was in a very clear, calm, relaxed, meditative place, is now one where my fists are clenched. So I'm going to trust that this is happening for us, not to us. So we surrender this time spent together to you. May it serve your purposes. For I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent you who sent me, so I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because you who sent me are directing me. And I am content to go wherever you wish, knowing that you go along with me and that I will be healed as you teach me how to heal. Please show me what you would have me do, where you would have me go, what you would have me say, and to whom. Just give me the words. I'm here to confess. I'm here to get things off my chest, but in a way that is helpful and hopefully hopeful, and for the well-being of all. I ask that our collective guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, and ancestors gather around us in a force field of light, containing and protecting the work that we do here today, the sharing that we do here today. And I ask that all information and energy that exchanges between us does so clearly, cleanly, and for the well-being of all. Thank you, God, Goddess, all that is. So mote it be. And so it is. Better, a little. Hi. Hi. It's okay, Grace. We started on another one and it glitched, and now we're here. So that's okay. It's good to have two cameras, right? I'm blessed that I can do it on my phone as well as I can do it from the top of the lap, which, by the way, I'm going to put this on airplane mode just to make sure there is no more glitchy. What are you going to do? I've noticed that Wi-Fi gets weird and internet gets weird when it's raining or cloudy out. I just noticed that. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. Could be pure coincidence. I don't know. So Bridget asked, did I get some rest last night? No. I went to bed, but I didn't get any rest. Well, no, that's not true. I did get some rest. But yesterday was a really hard day for me. And, every day is hard for what we're going through on planet Earth right now. And I'm not saying it's all me. I'm saying that I am an empath. I'm a master empath, master healer that way. And I was just feeling it in spades yesterday. Particularly the feeling of loss, the feeling of regret, and the feeling of disappointment, right? What is so painful about what we're going through is disappointment, right? And, come to think of it, I didn't have this prepared before, but now I can. Matt Kahn does give a mantra for disappointment. It's early on in this book, too. Hold on one sec. Sweet Georgia Brown. Disappointment. Only better things will come. Well, I'm going to tell you something. The inner child work that we started, well, I mean, I've been doing it for decades, but let's just say this recent round of it, uh, because I am reading his second book, Everything is Here to Help You, right? The subtitle, Finding the Gift in Life's Greatest Challenges. So the idea of the ego being at war, going into worry, anticipation, and regret, and the soul coming from a place of raw respect, acknowledgement, and welcome. So I really spent a good chunk of yesterday tuning in to those qualities of the soul, of respect, like really respecting what I was feeling and acknowledging what I was feeling, right? That acknowledgement is the action of respect. And so the inner child work took on a whole deeper experience yesterday, but that really threw me into a very, 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 very deep sadness, depression, and disappointment. Now, that's why I was like, there's no way I am doing 11 p.m. stream like this. I had my Aquarian friend texted me. He's like, "Are you okay?" Because because people check in with me. My friends do. My friends and my family don't follow me on social media the way that people who follow me on social media do, right? So they check in, and I was like, just having a really rough day. And the difference is they don't get it. That's the difference. You guys get it. We talk about it. We're going through it. We're all on a similar pathway home where, they're muggles. So they mean to help, but they don't, because they don't understand. Well, are you going to be okay? And now I'm dealing with their fear and their apprehension. And I'm just like, oy, Shmia, really? Really? And I was like, you've known me, particularly with my parents. It's like, you've known me my whole life. I get this way. But they kind of they keep it in the psychological sphere only, right? So that, we have to make them feel better. We have to make them feel better. We have to give them all, and it's like, knock it off. It's their denial, period, right? They are in denial, right? Well, okay, sorry, I'm reading all of this. I'm going to have to ignore your chats for a little bit. You're going to chat amongst yourself, go right ahead, because it's very distracting at the moment for me to kind of do what I'm supposed to do here today. So, yeah, by the time I went to bed, I did my Wim Hof breathing. I do it in the morning and in the afternoon and at night. Just something that I'm doing for my own physical health, as well as for my own spiritual practice, just to breathe consciously and deliberately. And I love it. It gives me a nice 10-15 minutes of relief. I dig it big time. But that being said, it really did start bringing up some stuff. And I really started talking to this child, just acknowledging, sweetheart, and here are the words. If any of you do Ho'oponopono, this won't be a shock. I'm sorry. I started saying I am sorry to the child of my heart, to my inner child, and whether it was the ego or past stuff or whatever. I'm sorry that you didn't get what you wanted in this life. I'm sorry that your career didn't pan out the way that you wanted to. I'm sorry that the Silver Broom was a great big huge disappointment. I'm sorry that things with Farm Boy didn't go the way. I'm sorry that he did. And the tears. I mean, I went and I got a great big huge, I have from Atlantis, the resort, not the Sunken Continent, big beach towel, that you buy them down there, and just grabbed that because I knew it was going to be one of those knockdown, drag out Cancerian moon evenings, and just crying and blowing my nose, and I was a hot mess. Really, I went to bed by like 11-ish. By 11:30, emotional tsunami. So it's coming up. And it was rough. It was like a scene out of The Exorcist minus the pea soup, right? It was very, very intense. But at the same time, I could really feel the presence of my soul giving me the words, or at least speaking the words through me. It's okay, sweetheart. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay. I'm so sorry that you didn't get what you wanted. So now to backtrack, I started saying this in the other stream, but I guess none of you guys heard it. Carolyn Mace said that the 3 things, right, that you should do. Number 1, give up the need to know the reasons why things happen. And I've really embraced that, because reasons are human things. And that's like what my family is trying to give me. They're trying to give me reasons. Well, you know, it's like this, and maybe if you do this, and they just want me to bypass it, all emotion. They're not emotional people. They're not. They're teachers, they're lawyers, they're, you know, professionals in that way. So it's like, oh no, having a feeling, quick, push it down. Here, let's watch TV. Let's blast TV really loud so that we don't pay attention to what we're feeling. And you know what? So goes the majority of society, at least in Western civilization. It's fine. It's their coping mechanism. But the thing is, you can't run. Oh, you can run, but you can't hide, right? You can run for only so long. And the moment you're exhausted, and I've watched them explode when it all finally catches up to them. It's like running with a bungee. It just like eventually just snaps you right back. So that's why I try and stay current with it. It's like I try and be authentic, which is why people come to me for readings, which is why people come to me for spiritual counseling. Even if they don't know any of this about me, there is this emotional space, right, that is in me, that they understand, okay, that somehow, for some reason, he's comfortable to talk to, because I've spoken my unspeakables for the most part, unless there's some in there I don't know about. I feel my emotions, I let them have their emotional arc, and I get the expansion that comes with that. So that was let go of the need to know the reasons why things happen the way they do. Release your judgments. Ongoing judgments have a positive side to them, because there are nuggets of intuition in them. That's another topic for another day. And the third one, let go of your expectations, right? So that's why we're talking about expectations. And I woke up this morning with that one about expectations. So I came downstairs, you know, I did my oil pulling and you know, all of that stuff. And I pulled out the card Releasing Expectations from the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck. And the mantra for this one is, only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. All right. So that was sort of the seminal idea that I was going to work with here. And I will read you what's in the bookie book. Yeah, let me just do that. Let me do this. Releasing expectations. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. When you release expectations, it is no longer your job to be in control of reality, because we never were in control of reality. You are a soul birthed from the fabric of destiny, where only the perfection of universal will takes shape and form. Once expectations are released, a life beyond your wildest imagination is given permission to enter your reality. Well, I think we're going through something that is well beyond our wildest imaginations right now. This mantra is ideal for having more faith, learning how to trust, and alleviating disappointment. Disappointment. That was the sadness, the grief, the loss, and disappointment that I was purging from my cell tissue last night, and the debris in everyone's energy field, it feels like, for thousands of miles around me, for a good hour and a half last night. So I don't think I nodded off until maybe 1, 2 in the morning. So it was a very intense night. But then again, so this morning I pick up this book, and I'm on, what is it? Am I at chapter 3 of Everything Here is Here to Help You? And there's a chapter in here. Here, what's the name of the chapter? I do like to be accurate with these things. How everything helps, right? Because it says everything is here to help you. Well, you go, well, how, Matt? Well, he goes into it. And one of the sub-chapters, I'm just going to read you some of this, not all of it, an upside to disappointment, right? So all the puzzle pieces are being thrown at me, right, from the divine, right? Inside outside upside down. There, all the puzzle pieces are coming to me. Because when you're willing to play the game, when you're willing to do the healing, when you're willing to feel what you're feeling, the universe rearranges itself. Why? Because only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. And we can talk about the quantum in a bit, but when viewing life through the lens of ego, disappointment is, see, I think what's getting me demonetized, and then 24 hours later they go, it's okay, is if I say the word that is associated with the 13th card of the major arcana. Starts with a D, ends with a F. Not a, it's not the letter S with a lisp. ETH. Let's say the demise of expectation there. I'm just going to edit that. Hopefully they won't take that word. When viewing life through the lens of ego, disappointment is the demise of expectation with no awareness of its evolutionary benefits. From the soul's perspective, however, the role of disappointment is to liberate our consciousness from the dream of expectation. So those two things are linked. Expectation, right? Releasing expectation, and disappointment. So we can remain open to the fate of life's infinite possibilities. In many cases, the ego believes the best case scenario is getting exactly what it wants. From this point of view, many attachments to outcome are created, and life only has one way to make us happy: future pending desires of long-lasting pleasure. As we shift from ego to soul, we are open to the endless ways we can experience true happiness without always needing to get our way in order for life to seem fair. Now, just to segue for a moment into inner child stuff, what is a child like when it doesn't get its way? Angry, frustrated, tantrum, sad, disappointed, the whole range. As disappointment arises, the death of damn it, I said the word. Well, 24 hours later, that'll take me off demonetization. As disappointment arises, the demise of expectation expands awareness beyond the limitations of self-defeating beliefs and attachments to outcome. When disappointed, the ego feels the sting of personal defeat as the inevitable waves of sadness signify deeper layers of ego being released, both in ourselves and others. This is precisely why the ego cannot ever attain the goals set forth on a spiritual journey. If the ego were to achieve each milestone, it would be getting its way. So he even talks about sadness in here as the dissolving of the ego, which is the spiritual process, not the destruction of it, not the getting rid of the ego, but of it being integrated into the soul. That the ego is the most dormant part of the soul, right? So it's dissolution, it's dissolving, it's being embraced. And that's why the inner child work is so key. There you have it. So one of the things that I did last night, and even this morning, because, I was up at 7 a.m., did my stuff. Here I am now, hours later. And I started really acknowledging, because that's the A in raw, acknowledgement, acknowledging its expectations. So here's what I thought we would do. What are your expectations? Because we can't stop ourselves from having them, because it's just how we are. It's how we've been raised. It's part of our nervous system that's being unraveled. But I know nobody expected what we're going through now, right? Not last year, right? I had a lovely holiday, right? Christmas, Yule holiday season, went to Saratoga. That was lovely, lovely, lovely time. I didn't see this coming. So we can't not have expectations. But I think part of this is acknowledging when we have them, right? Because it's okay to have them. It's just they are the seeds of disappointment, right? So what I started doing was talking to that kid. It's like, well, okay, so what were you expecting, right? People say that afterwards, it's not very helpful. Well, what were you expecting? Well, so I did it in a more loving way. I was like, well, honey, what were you expecting? And as it went down the list, They were all of the dreams, all of my heart's desires, all of the things that I really wanted because I thought they would make me happy. And with each one, more and more tears, more. So I was even crying this morning, right? More and more tears, just squeezing my heart. Now, people could say, oh, I'm so sorry. This is the healing. This is the ego being unwound. Now, hold on one second. Just 1 second here. Where did you go? The unexpected liberator, upside to disappointment, deeper purpose for sadness. Wait till you hear this. Sadness confirms the exact moments in time when the ego dissolves. Shall I repeat that? In case you subconsciously distracted yourself from hearing that by chatting, sadness confirms the exact moment in time when the ego dissolves. While it is possible for the ego to unravel in one profound moment of transcendence, it is far more common for it to dissolve back into source in a more gradual way. Sadness is the ego's response when life fails to fulfill its insatiable lists of demands and desires. Whenever the ego doesn't get its way, it either lashes out in anger or shuts down in sadness. And since the ego isn't capable of recognizing how each defense could only be in response to the expansion of the soul, it firmly believes everything it feels is due not to having its needs met. Like a child. Inner child work. You got to feel it to heal it. Now, the thing about sadness is, what do you do when you're sad? What's the idea? Well, how do we discern between wishes, spells, and expectations? You can't. You can't. Without expectation, you can't be disappointed. Can I visualize my perfect home? Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. Paying attention? Only the highest possibilities. This is the quantum. Your personality may or may not get what it wants. Your ego may or may not get what it wants. It doesn't matter whether or not you visualize it. Your soul is manifesting the highest possibilities for your own evolution. There it is. There it is. You're going to get the right home for you, whether you visualize it or not. I'm going to either be married or not married to the right guy, whether I visualize it or not. In other words, this universe is not geared to satisfy the ego. Have you noticed? But what is expectation is a false belief that if we get what we want, we'll be happy. Because as soon as we get what we want, we now want the next thing. So we get like this blip of happy. And then we're hungry again. It's like a sugar high, right? So honestly, the spells that we've done, the prayers, all of that stuff, was just fulfilling an intuition of what was going to come anyway. This is a witch telling you that you can burn all the candle wax you want. Have you noticed? You don't always get you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. And that's kind of really what this book is saying, right? Is that everything is here to help you, even the disappointment, even the sadness, even the overthinking, even the jealousy, even the resentment, even the anger. Everything is here to help the evolution of the soul, which is why we're here. In other words, we didn't incarnate to get the ego's desires met. Carolyn May said it. She said, the personality, the ego has desires, the soul has needs. Guess who wins? The soul always wins. The soul always gets what it wants. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Is this witchy fatalism? I'm just going to ask you, has every single spell that you've ever cast worked? My spells work, but never in the way I expect them to. Why? Because it's written in the quantum. In other words, the old spiritual paradigm is being destroyed by Kali. Kali. The Kali finger puppet has spoken. Yep, sorry. That was all an illusion you were living under. And if you haven't noticed, illusions are popping left, right, and center. Yeah. Yeah, so glad we're addressing these things. Thank you for guiding me through this. You are welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Right? So that, well, that's why I said, like, you know, I still have my sense of humor about this stuff to an extent. I'm like, okay, who put this global situation as it is right now on their vision board? Who is visualizing this? Who is visualizing this? Because you're in trouble. Shake my finger at you. I'm going to shake the Kali finger puppet at you, right? The soul always wins, right? Yeah. Right? Our sacred cows are being slaughtered. There's only so much candle wax you can burn in one lifetime, right? There's only so many prayers you can say in one lifetime. It's already scripted. Now, granted, if you study the quantum physics, you will hear about string theory, right? And you will hear about infinite probabilities. The thing is we don't determine which of those probabilities we experience. An infinite field of possibility, right? Oh, Deepak Chopra loves talking about the infinite field of possibility through meditation. It is the true self, the soul, that chooses which of those we experience. So we're going to be disappointed. I had other things I wanted to do last month and this month. Didn't you? The thing is not to repress the disappointment, but to actually allow yourself to feel it, because it is undoing the ego. It is moving us into a place of surrender, to where the very pain that we are in is being released from our energy fields and from the energy fields of all humanity. Welcome to empathy. This is why we're going through this, I believe. Not just individually, collectively. Currently processing this soul versus ego thing. Well, that's the angel versus the devil, honey. It's not a new story, right? You getting it? You getting it? This is advanced, but you know what? Look at where we are in the world, and not just the current health issues going on. Look at what's going on in the world governments. Now, I am not a conspiracy theorist, and yes, I understand enough of what's going on in politics so that I can understand what people are talking about when they're freaking out during a reading or a spiritual counseling session. I don't take sides. I stand for love. Like, I love it. Let everybody be blessed. Every heart, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat, independent, social, whatever, we're all one. That's the mystical truth that I know to be truth, right? But this is a course correction that we're in. And it is the work of the empaths, the divine feminine, the first wavers, to process this stuff out, the energy sensitives, to feel all of this stuff, that our egos be unwound, but that the soul and the ego are on the same spectrum. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. What's the difference between red and violet? A matter of wavelength, right? Otherwise, it's all white light. You with me? Right? So the ego is the lower vibrational part of that spectrum, the red. The soul, the wider, longer wavelength, the violet. And in between is our experiences. Now, what we've been trying to do on the spiritual path is get rid of the ego. We've been trying to do away with it, seeing it as the adversary, the devil, Satan, right? The beast that possesses you, right? Even the Course in Miracles says the ego's main goal is to try and kill you to prove that you're a body. Well, What Matt is talking about here is that the ego is the soul in its most dormant form, and that what is dormant needs to be awakened, hence the process of spiritual awakening. In other words, the spiritual awakening is not the love boat, it's the Poseidon adventure, and we are in it deep. And there's no going back. There is no going back. It's too late, right? But it's not the soul versus ego. That's the old way of looking at it. It's that the ego is the soul that is being unraveled, dissolved, and integrated into the soul. How? Through unconditional love, through respecting it, through acknowledging it, and through welcoming it, but not letting it run the show. So when you're angry, not punching a hole in the wall, right? When you're sad, not turning to your distractions and your addictions, but to actually feel it. Now, if this seems new to you, you haven't been paying attention, because I've been talking about this on this channel for a really long time. Well, and that's the thing. If you're only going to take the spirituality that feels better, that feels good, I know it's very Abraham Hicks. I got news for you. It's called spiritual bypassing. When someone you love leaves, it hurts. Unless you want them to leave, right? That's grief. That's showing you the love that you have, right? So however they leave your life, there's pain and there's sadness there. There's grief. There's disappointment. But then anger and frustration is the workaround that we do to repress that stuff. See? So what happens once you feel the anger and the frustration? Underneath that is the sadness, the grief, and the pain. All of it needs to be loved. But the beauty of it is, and this is in the introduction to Course in Miracles, free will doesn't mean that you get to choose the curriculum. It only means that you get to choose what you want to take at any given time. My fan fell. Yeah. It makes more sense to me that the ego is and the soul are one and the same. Yeah. But the ego is being unraveled, and that's our job, is to love what rises. Our job is to unconditionally love ourselves, and that's why the metaphor, and I'll put that in air quotes, of the inner child is so powerful, because it doesn't matter whether you are healing the ego, unraveling the ego, or the personality, or the collective unconscious, or empathing everybody else around you. It's all the same thing. And the way he puts it, it's a really good book. The universe always has a plan, is lovely. This one's more intense, and I think more helpful, at least for me. He calls it raw. Respect, acknowledgement, and welcome. So last night, as I respected the feelings of loss. Now, was that triggered by watching the news? Probably. Was that triggered by people experiencing loss and grief of loved ones, of opportunities, of finances, of plans? I mean, how many people were going to get married and had to put that on hold, right? It's a lot of disappointment. Why? Because of expectations. Now, I'm not saying don't have expectations, but we've got to identify them. What are our expectations? So let's do that. What are your expectations? What are your expectations? Like, I can tell you what my expectations were as of recent, right? I expected that Eric the farm boy, like Conan the Barbarian, was going to choose me, was going to do what he said he was going to do and get out of the relationship that he's in, a dead-end relationship. He's not in love with the guy. It's codependent patterning, and that he was going to move in with me. I really expected that. I really thought that that's what, and by the way, every reading, every synchronicity. Songs on the radio. I mean, I was really told over and over and over again by the universe, hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. It's going to happen. And the odd thing is it might still, but he's going to have some splaining to do. Farm boy, you got some splaining to do. That goes down, and not just to me. You know, some splaining to do to a lot of people. But I love him, and I always will. Sucks, but there you have it. I completely expected that the Silver Broom was going to keep going on, and we were going to expand and get better and eventually own that building that we were in, 46 Railroad Avenue. Nope. I expected that the Crystal Cave-In was going to honor their agreements that they made with people. Nope. So now I don't know what to expect. And don't you know that? Don't you feel it? It's like we don't know what to expect now. We are in uncertainty. Perfect rent for a perfect space, perfect home in the perfect place. Well, honey, and I don't mean to come for you on this one, but I want you to think about it. How long have you been chanting that? It's a wonderful intention. But if your happiness is based on it, it's an expectation. And this is where we have to find the difference between expectation and hope. And isn't that what he was saying in here? Hold on. It's in that very last bit of it. This mantra is ideal for having more faith, learning how to trust, and alleviating disappointment. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. All right? Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not, which means whether I cast for them or not, whether I pray for them or not, whether I glue stick them to my vision board or not, whether I agree with them or not, whether I like them or not, whether they are what I want or not. That I think we're going to save ourselves a lot of pain by releasing expectation, and that ain't easy, considering we are born into families with great expectations. Anybody walking around in a wedding dress? Miss Havisham, great expectations. Isn't that great expectations? Lost Horizons? No, Lost Horizons is Shambhala. I get my classics confused. Whatever the one was Miss Havisham walking around in her wedding dress. Yeah. Yeah, right, Mari? So what I'm going to do, I just trust in the universe, right? So I just give up the spell. Well, sweetheart, how many times have you done the spell? No, I'm asking you, Bridget, how many times have you done the spell? How many times have you done the spell? So is it the kind of thing where you just have to keep putting gas in the car until you get it? Or is it already scripted? Is it already written in the divine plan? Is it already going to happen or not happen according to your soul's evolution, according to what is the perfect situation for you? Now, the ego thinks it can fast track it. We'll say, well, then that's okay. Let me learn my lessons. Let me forgive. Let me heal quick. Where's the bleach? Where's the wire brush? I got a chakra to cleanse. It's still trying to control what it can never control. It doesn't work that way. Because if it did work that way, we'd all be in nirvana right now. The New Age movement would have brought that era of peace already. Yeah, we're still here. Right, great expectations. Thank you. I wanted to just check that. You know I suck at names, titles, people's names. Just no good at it. What you doing over here? Come here. Kitty. Come here. Just scratching around for no reason whatsoever. I bought him a scratching thing, and it doesn't matter. He effing scratches wherever he wants. Yeah. So Mal, or is it? So Mal, or is it that what is meant to be will be, regardless of what I try and manifest? But here's the beautiful part of it: you can manifest indirectly. Indirect manifestation is saying, all right, I am going to visualize what I want, but only for the emotional experience of it. Because then that emotion tells the soul, more of this, please. And the soul tells the law of attraction, the universe, the quantum field, more experiences so that we can feel this way. That's how we navigate through the quantum fields. That's why the more we embrace feeling better, the less we will feel bad. What is that? The more I embrace feeling good, the less I will feel bad. But remember that good and bad thing. It doesn't say you'll never feel bad. It's a moral it's a judgment on our part right there. What's good, what's bad. When we get what we want, it's good. When we don't get what we get, it's bad. Well, that's not the language of the soul. That's the language of the ego, right? So us not getting what we want is fast tracking us through our awakening. But, you know, the payoff of awakening is unity consciousness, where there's no need to steal. There's no need to hurt anybody. There's no need, because we are all well aware we're all one as a visceral experience, all right? Good. Good that your head hurts, because this is, I believe, why we are going through what we are going through on planet Earth. I really do. I think this is exactly why we're going through what we're going through on planet Earth. So, because it's awakening time. Yeah. None of this is simple. Well, wrong. It is simple. It's just not easy, right? So you do get what you think about, but not the way that you think about it, right? Which means that the universe has something better in mind for us, right? Haven't you ever heard better than your wildest dreams, right? That the gods, the universe has something in store for you. The divine plan is better than anything you can even imagine. Well, what if that's the law? What if we can't imagine it, but it's better? But it's better. Now, better for who? Not the ego. I mean, there might be some things that the ego wants that, yes, happen to line up with what's in the divine plan. But I'll tell you this, I'm stronger than I was. And I am much better off now than if I were working with the crystal cave-in, or if the silver broom was still functioning with people who really should have retired a long time ago. Yeah, I did everything I could to make that thing work, but I was the only one rowing the boat. And a lot of deception going on behind the scenes. Yeah. So refreshing to see it as manifesting for the emotional experience. Universe, bring me more of this feeling, right? Because, and this is an Abraham Hicks thing, at least that's where I heard it first. The only reason you want anything is because you think you'll feel a certain way about it, right? But what Matt Kahn says is that even if you got the thing that you wanted, you would still feel the way that you're feeling right now. And he's right. So if you're dissatisfied now, having a new home, there's going to be dissatisfaction with that new home. New lover, you know there's going to be dissatisfaction with the new lover anyway. So why not cultivate the emotions that you want to feel and feel them more often instead of trying to make things happen? In other words, all right, I don't care if I get demonetized for this. My father used to say it all the time, you're shoveling shit upstream. It's a great metaphor, right? Considering I've never actually shoveled shit upstream, I get the metaphor of it, right? Pissing in the wind, right? Pissing into the wind, right? It's going to play out the way it's going to play out. And still, there is a near infinite variety of probabilities that can happen. But the mantra, only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not, which means, now, Bridget, I know your situation. Your living situation then is the highest possibility for the evolution of your soul. And there's nothing you can do to speed it up, right? So, okay, well, let me do my spiritual busy work so I can get out of here. That's the ego. That's not the soul. Yeah, of course, I would love for Farm Boy to message me and say, oh, what a fool I have been. Now that I've been in lockdown, I realize that it's you, only you. I know what I want and I'm sure I can get it, which is an 80s lyric. I don't know what song, but it's an 80s lyric. Yeah. Okay. I would love for that to happen, but there's nothing I can do to make that happen. And honey, I prayed, I blessed, I stepped away from, manipulating through spells and magic and all of that and just blessed him. I prayed for him no lie, every day for years this went on. May he be blessed, all with the ego shaking the dice going, please let it be him, please bring him, please sooner rather than later, please, oh please, oh please, oh please, oh please, please blow up his relationship so that we'll be together. That ain't the soul. but it couldn't have happened any other way, said the garbage man coming. Can you hear that? Can you guys hear that booping in the background? Hold on. There's one of these I do want to read. You know, I love these cards. I mean, I really do recommend the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn. Huge, great big huge help for me. And you know, it's always going to be the last card. I don't know why I just don't start at the other end of it, but there is one of these I want to actually read for the book, but I need to kind of see what the actual title of it is so I can look it up. Constructing doubt, processing grief, inviting ecstasy really is my favorite card in here. Of course, it would be. I'm a Dionysus archetype. Transforming tragedy, growing beyond guilt. It couldn't have happened any other way. Growing beyond guilt. Here, I want to read you this one. Bye-bye, garbage. I get to watch it. It literally happens right out my window. Just the thing goes over and it shakes it and then it puts it back down. Let's just give it a second. Bye-bye, garbage man. Thank you. All right, growing beyond guilt. It couldn't have happened any other way. When you grow beyond guilt, there is a heartfelt acceptance that any sequence of events unfolds in a perfect flow that is organized and expressed by the universe. This takes the pressure of control off your shoulders so you can enjoy the way in which life has come to be. Since everything is destined to change you and can only change you for the better, growing beyond guilt enables you to see how exquisitely the gift of life unfolds. This mantra is ideal for releasing the past, unhooking from karmic patterns, and forgiving yourself. Couldn't happen any other way. Couldn't happen any other way. So all of the fights, all of the disappointments, all the expectations couldn't happen any other way, right? So, and what's the first golden rule of letting go in his book, The Universe Always Has a Plan? You've done nothing wrong. And can I tell you, that's what made that child squeal and heal last night, and not in pleasure. Honey, you've done nothing wrong. The ego's not wrong. The ego's conditioned. The ego's conditioned. We're undoing its conditioning, but it's not pretty. So let's do a little meditation, right? Let's do a little meditation to let go, or at least be willing to release some of our expectations. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to do a song of prayer, at least the structure of it. Take a minute, get comfortable, breathe. Nice, full, deep breaths. Get yourself comfortable in a position you can stay in comfortably and safely, please. The safely part is kind of key. And I would like you to imagine in the center of your mind a little ball of golden light. And as you focus on it, that light expands like a sunrise on the horizon, filling up the entire scope of your inner vision. Golden warm light now surrounding you in all directions. And there appears next to you a guide, your symbol of spirit. Let's pick one. Guide, master, teacher, God, goddess, saint, angel, totem, healer, ancestor, whoever is that all good. All right, they're just all good. All good. It's all good. And they extend a hand. You take it, and they take you by the arm, and they're walking you deeper into the light. And from that light comes an altar, a table, wide and white, just clean, empty, nothing on it, No accoutrement, no statue, no candle, no crystal, no nothing. And now place onto this altar the very things you think will make you happy. The things you expect will make you happy. But let's also add to that the things that we expect the worst from. So not just the things we expect will make us happy, but the things we expect that will make us sad, that will make us angry, that will be painful. Even if some of them are just inevitable, just take a minute, take two. So on one side of the altar, it's this is the thing that I think will make me happy. And on the other side is here's the thing that I think will make me happy not happening. It's all sort of the same thing, isn't it? And our worst expectation, or the worst expectation of the ego, is that we're not going to get what we want. And that our worst fear, that we're just not going to get what we want. Because we think it'll make us happy. But happiness is a decision we make sooner or later. So just empty yourself of your expectations. And breathe. As you now step back and watch as that altar is now lifted into this golden light, taken into the hands of the divine. And just disappearing, handing it over, so that it's just us and the light. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether we envision them or not. I'll put that in first person. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. And I acknowledge and respect the parts of my ego that want those things. And it's okay to want those things. This isn't an altar of sacrifice. This is a handing over. That we are going to experience disappointment to the extent we hold expectations, and we're going to have expectations, so we're going to be disappointed. It's just part of it. And we can pretend and trick ourselves that we don't have expectations, but we're going to be disappointed anyway. And we're going to say, oh, I guess I did have an expectation. So I acknowledge that I expect to have a true love partner. I accept that I have expectations of being happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise in this life. I accept that I have expectations of my dreams coming true. I accept that I have expectations of my heart's desires manifesting in ways that I want them to. And I accept that though that's okay, that doesn't mean I'm in control. That doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily get what I want. But I am willing to also accept that the universe always has a plan. I am willing to accept that somehow everything is working out for my benefit. And I'm willing to accept that the divine plan is about my liberation, my true happiness, my true freedom, my true healing, my true realization as a divine being in form, my enlightenment, levels of bliss and ecstasy that will come to me that have nothing to do with what I envision. So as I sit here in this light basking, I dare to say thank you. Thank you for the gift of disappointment. Thank you for the gift of sadness, that it is unraveling my ego so it can be integrated, brought home into love. And that my job in all of this, whether I'm coming from the soul or the ego, is just to keep moving forward little by little, loving what rises, loving myself, doing the inner child work, doing the breath work, doing whatever I am inspired to do, to heal, to grow, to learn, to be the best that I can be, and to fulfill my role in the divine plan for the well-being of all. Because that's what I came in to do, not to get what I want, though that may happen here and there. I am willing. And as I notice how I feel right now, I do feel more relaxed. I do feel more at peace. I do feel more at ease. I feel better. And as expectations arise within me, I will call them out. I will acknowledge them. I will respect them. I will welcome them. And then I will hand them over to say, let not even this stand between me and the divine plan. If it's part of the divine plan, great. If it's not, then I want to feel how it would feel to have this. And I ask the universe for more opportunities to feel what it would feel like to be in the arms of a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, romantic life partner. For myself, that is what I want. To feel what it would feel like to travel the world doing what I love as a spiritual teacher and a reader, helping people in front of large audiences. Seeing the world, traveling the Greek Isles, doing workshops on cruise ships once they're like healthy and all of that. Swimming naked with dolphins. Sunning myself on beaches in Hawaii and the Bahamas. A strawberry daiquiri in one hand and a Rothman cigarette in the other. Dancing with friends. Laughing with family. Oh, these are the things I really want. And maybe the only thing I need to have an expectation for is that the divine plan will include that or be better than that somehow. And that I can expect miracles. Because I'm willing. I'm willing to heal. I'm willing to grow. I'm willing to forgive. I'm willing to surrender bit by bit, moment by moment, through the joy and the sorrow, the high and the low, the getting what I want and not getting what I want. Because that's what I came here to do. To be the best Mark Angelo Lyons, Mel for short, that I can be for my well-being and for the well-being of all. So mote it be, and so it is. Got a little tear of joy going on there. Thank you all so very much for this interrupted morning stream, but nonetheless, I think probably better than it would have been, because I expected I was going to be doing it upstairs. I guess that expectation did not come true, did it? But that's okay. This one was better, I'm guessing. Cool. Have a really, really good day. Aw, big love you, bro. Well, your name is HD, so that means high definition to me. So I don't know your gender, but thank you, brother, sister, spirit, angel, God, goddess, child of love. I've got a reading to do today for a client, then 3 other readings to record. Beltane is 2 days from now. God, goddess, bless. We'll talk about that tonight because we need to talk about that tonight in the stream. Yeah, I should be ready for that. All right. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of the rest of this day, my darlings. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.